Okay. Are we here? Should be live. Nice. Very good. All right, so welcome back to the Finance Corner. This is our live trading session that we hold from, call it 9:20 to 11 o'clock. So here we are. We're just gonna be looking for some positions here and just hanging out. So one of the things I was looking for is a pullback on the Nasdaq here. So take a look at the daily chart. Quickly see that this is an engulfing candle. So I think that what we're doing now is just a pullback phase to continue lower. So just have some stuff marked off to see where we can potentially sell off from. So, and I have this equal highs that looks like the market's reacting to it right now. I needed to show us a real topping pattern first. So I'm gonna be a little bit more patient on that one before I pull the trigger. But yeah, so we are here. We are trading this prop firm, My Funded FX, and we're just gonna see if we can find some positions. So take a look at Bloomberg. Anything new? I want to subscribe to here and get some more news articles. It's good to stay on top of this news stuff. So the news we had this morning was jobless claims, and looks like it did decline more than usual. So all right, we're here. Cool. Okay. Anyways, there's been a lot of news going on with the market. So if we could take a look at the unemployment change, unemployment rate, where we at here? So previous was 250, forecast was 241, 233. So the unemployment is decreasing. Actual less than forecast is good for currency. So actual less than forecast. So we should be expecting the dollar to be trading higher. Let's see if it's doing that. Yes, we did have a reaction to the upside. Okay. And I remember looking at this gap, seeing how we're going to play around it. So it looks like we made some lows and shot up after this. Maybe we can get a pullback for a continuation higher. Maybe we can get a pullback. Main thing I was looking for is like the market is just not giving it to me because I wanna I wanna sell in this area, but it's not giving me like a reversal pattern on a smaller time frame. So close that out. I think that was just the weekend gap. Yeah, it's just the weekend gap right here. So ignoring that, all right, so maybe we can use this 1 hour imbalance as a reversal pattern. Maybe we can do that. So we see we have the Dow Jones making the, trading the strongest right now as of open, but it looks like Nas has the biggest percentage gain. So overall, the VIX has been it hit some extremely high levels the past couple of weeks, like relative comparing to like 2020 levels, which is kind of crazy. I think it's all due to like the geopolitical affairs going on, and just things with the election and just regular volatility, along with a market correction that we've all been kind of expecting. So for the next couple days or few weeks, like the market is going to be extremely volatile, which is why we should be patient for finding our positions. So I guess we could talk about our account. Like I'm in drawdown right now, so I'm actually trading two accounts. I have this one that is in some pretty heavy drawdown, and then I have this one which is also in some drawdown. So that's why I'm really trying to like slow down my trading. The first day trading these accounts, like I just didn't trade the way I wanted to, and just had poor performance. So now we're really just gonna try to focus in and like be patient on the positions that we're looking for. So, but yeah, on the finance corner, so trading is just gonna be one part of what we have going on here. It's gonna be tons of content on just financial and like market analysis, not only through price action, but we're also going to take a look at like some data, like it could be anything Fed Watch tool, be looking at like summary of economic projections, or even just some in-depth research on like a stock's 10K report or something like that. But all that information we're going to be able to find in the finance corner on the Patreon. So we can go ahead and let's get the community going. Start learning about how we can take advantage of these markets instead of them taking advantage of us. So as of right now, though, this really doesn't look like it's giving me what I want. Like we hit the liquidity in terms of this equal highs, and it's not giving me what I want right now. So maybe we're gonna fill in more of this imbalance. So we just gotta be patient with it. You just have to be patient with it. Um, Taking a look at gold, I love how this took off without me. It's like, why didn't you wait for me to enter the damn trade, bro? Very interesting. So this, I most of the time when I'm trading, I'm trying to find ways of how like I could have took part of like that position. For this one specifically, I don't see it unless I was up a little bit earlier. Maybe we could use this as a point, as a reference point. You know, previous resistance becoming support. Maybe we could have used that and like bought off of that, and also falls in line with the imbalance and tapping the EMA. But I wasn't really paying attention to that at the time. I was really looking at the Nasdaq to try to give me what I wanted. So that looks like a way you could have traded gold though. Like if you waited for that pullback, and let me see, 9:30 looks like 9:30 was this candle here. So yeah, if you were ready at like 9:15 and you noticed the wick and the candle break up higher, you could have entered here. You could have entered here with stop loss right here, and then been able to capitalize off that. So even right now, just you got a 1 to 7.5 going on, but something that we could not take part of. So let's see if the market gives us something else though. Let's take a look at currency as well. So the dollar had its reaction off of the data, and now it looks like we're getting some type of pullback. But to be honest, I believe that we're still bullish on the dollar, just because with all the uncertainty and everything going on, like people are gonna flock into the dollar, and it's gonna lead to inflows into the dollar, which leads to the dollar appreciating. So if the dollar goes up, we can expect foreign currency and stuff to be going down. So I'm thinking that so we did bounce off this EMA here on the daily chart. But I don't think that we're going to engulf. That would be very interesting if actually we just take this high and then we close actually below this previous day's candle, like here. That would be very interesting. But I think right now that we're going to be pulling back just into this gap area for the weekend. Or no, not that's not the weekend gap, but the daily gap between Wednesday. I think there was a weekend gap. Oh no, not really. It was like in this area, but we're kind of so that's actually probably a reason why we could pull back to here because the gap from Friday to Sunday is right here. It's very small, but we can see it right there. But another reason why I think that we can pull back into and meet this EMA and then maybe go continue for that upside. So as of right now, we're really not getting what we want. Okay, it's moving up a little bit higher. I need to see a reversal pattern though on a smaller time frame. Whether it's like the smaller mitigation or if you just start really consolidating in here and then we do a quick sweep. I need to see something like that though. But if we're just gonna trade right through it, I do not want to be part of it. I do not want to be part of it. Let's talk about oil. So with the stuff that's going on with the war in Israel and Hamas, um, I think that people were becoming more bullish on it just because of the uncertainties of like when the next attack is going to be or whatever. Because that's another thing that's historically true is when during war times, oil is definitely going to be a bullish asset. Just because think of all the oil and fuel that's used during these wars, right? Like people got to pay for if you want to drop a bomb on your enemy, like you gotta pay for the bomb to be dropped, right? Like you can't just it's not just free. You gotta pay for the fuel, to fly the plane or the helicopter or whatever, to drop the bomb. So that's another reason why oil is going to be going up. So we can be paying attention to oil if it gives us some intraday price action. Um, as far as I don't see anything for smart money concepts that really could be playing out on oil though. Besides maybe, maybe this is a liquidity sweep and then we're coming back up here. But to be honest, if that's the case, I would like to see it come back to one of these down candles. So like really, if it pulled back a little bit deeper, it's like I hate when the market does this. It does pretty much like 80% of what I want, but not 100%. Like if it pulled back to this area, that'd been much more convincing to me that we're like that's a bottom and we can continue higher because there's imbalance here on the daily chart and it's like leaving it open just like that there's this very tall, very tiny amount of an imbalance that's like right below the wick that makes me it just makes me comfortable for wanting to sell to buy in this area. It could work though. It could work seeing this 1 hour chart. So as you see, like this is definitely a mitigation. You know, you got a high, you got a low, you got a higher high, pull back into that area and continue off. The only thing I guess is we didn't really take out that high, so that wouldn't have been the most profitable trade idea. But it could just these could be some lows that are printing. printing now that can potentially set us up for going higher. Could potentially be setting us up. Let me go back to my NAS. I really want to try. I really want to find a trade on NAS. Okay, so we're getting some pullbacks. All right, cool. We're playing around in the area. This is exactly what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for. So now I want to see how, like, I guess this plays out. Like, can we consolidate a little bit more and then sweep to the upside? Or if it wants to give me like that mitigation reversal where it's where is it? It's like it'd be like a low and then be like a high and then a lower low. And then we pull it back and then we get in on that pullback. So that it'll take some time for that to actually play out. But that could be something that we're looking for. That could be something we're looking for because we're starting to play around in this area. Or we could just be doing a very small pullback and then continuing off. But seeing that, okay, the indexes finally have a little bit of harmony, kind of. Looks like S&P and NASDAQ pull back during the open, but Dow Jones kind of took the fuck off. Actually, a lot of points too. Damn. Damn. So it looks like Dow is one of those days where you could just fucking wake up and just press the buy button and you fucking made 300 points. Like, isn't that crazy? That's fucking ridiculous, to be honest. And then the hindsight bias kicks in. It's just like, damn, like, why didn't I just wake up and press the buy button? I hate that shit. All right. All right. Maybe it wasn't a pullback. Or maybe it's not of consolidating in this area. Maybe it's just like correcting imbalance and then fucking going higher. We see gold's doing that. That could have been something we took. But see, that's not really something that I would like though. Just that when you're in expanding markets, down candles should be respected. So we could have just did something like that. Observe this, and then yeah, we could have entered on gold. And then that would have been like 10 points already. That would have been a nice trade. That would have been a very nice trade. Okay. Okay. I guess for those who don't know, it's like if you want to be a trader, your best time to trade is from like the London and New York session. All you really need is like an hour or two and doing your analysis, is waiting for price action to play out, and then that's really it. You can make a lot of money. Make a lot of money. Um, so we see gold is just fucking expanding here. Wish I could have been part of that. What about the VIX? The VIX. Okay, that's actually interesting. I don't know if it's worth being bearish today yet then, because I was expecting the um, VIX to continue in the bullish direction around here when the market opened, but we're actually starting to print lower, and we're like actively printing lower. So then I don't know if it's not worth trying to go for a short on the market when the VIX is coming down, because if you don't know, there's an inverse correlation between the VIX and the indexes. So like as you see the VIX go down, the market goes up. And if you see the VIX go up, market goes down. So like let's take a look at that real quick. From Wednesday 10:40 to like 14, what happened? Wednesday 1040. So you see, huge down candles to 14, huge sell-offs, huge like down movement on the Nasdaq. Same thing with the S&P. Same thing with the US 30. But on the VIX is when it was going up. Is when it was going up. So yeah, seeing how it is now does not give me confidence. Does not give me confidence for entering this as a sell, or entering. Sorry, this is a sell. I also kind of mapped out. I think I deleted it now, but like I was doing an analysis yesterday, and I was thinking that again we're just pulling back for a higher time frame reversal. But I'm gonna have an alert, but I'm not gonna sit here all day with us to watch if this actually reverses at this level. But to me, it's still valid because if you take a look here, it's pulling back. Like this was the engulfing candle on the daily chart that came and sold off all of it. And we also filled in the imbalance. It's kind of like smart money efficiency. Like we took out liquidity up here, filled in imbalance from the weekend gap, and then we fucking dumped the shit. I guess the only thing we could look at, or that's another thing we can look at, is this is kind of an institutional candle to the buy side. So that is something that's kind of playing out here. So again, the institutional candle is the down move before the bigger up move, and we just like mark out the open of that candle. So the market is kind of respecting that. But see, now it gets into a decisive moment that, you know, the market goes from liquidity to liquidity. So if we just hit liquidity to this side on the upside, because we know for a fact that there is liquidity here, low resistance highs, imbalance gap being filled, huge reaction from the price. So for that reason, I don't think that this buy side institutional candle will take out these highs. I could be wrong. I just don't think that that is something that's going to play out. I'm hoping that maybe we're again going to be reversing in this area, this 1 hour imbalance here. So let me see. If we have to close, if this candle in 30 minutes closes above this zone, kind of invalidates the idea, and then I'm just gonna kind of be walking away. That's how I'm gonna play that, because maybe we'd be selling off in like the afternoon session. But on this morning session, I don't see it actually playing out anymore. That's a tragedy. I was ready to take this position. We missed out on a couple things. We could have took gold. Crypto, I don't really trade. I don't really day trade crypto, but more of like an investor in crypto. But again, I don't think it's interesting though. Like, I don't think that this is a low for like an investment. I don't think that this is a low. I think we could be coming out a little lower. This weekly candle ends in 3 days, so we're gonna have more data with that. As you can see on the hourly chart, it is kind of just expanding. It is just expanding. Small little pullback during London, and then consolidation, and then boom, 8 o'clock, fucking rip. How did it react to unemployment news? So that's another thing that like people are trying to say, or just another thing to observe is like Bitcoin moves a lot with the overall market now. Like back in like maybe a couple years ago, Bitcoin had its own thing. It had its own chart. Well, it has everything has its own chart, but like it moves on its own based on its own data, its own fundamentals. But now you're seeing like crypto move a lot, congruent, a lot in harmony with the indexes. And there's a couple of reasons for that. I think the main reason is that with the introduction into Bitcoin ETFs, like people are gonna have much more exposure to crypto now. So if you have your 401k and your brokerage, and you're just like, hey, I want to allot some of this to crypto, then it's like, all right, now we have some more inflows into crypto. So I remember before crypto would move because it's a 24/7 market, right? It would move over the weekend, and you can like legit find trades over the weekend. But that shit does not happen anymore. Like you're not able to do that because it's so in line with how the indexes move during the week. And so, the indexes and stuff are only open 5 days a week versus crypto's 7 days. So, but that's something we can observe. Crypto doesn't really do its own thing anymore. We can compare between Bitcoin and Ethereum though, like the relative strength. We can see, I think Bitcoin looks like, did ETH sell off harder? Yeah, it looks like ETH sold off a little bit harder, or Bitcoin is just recovering a little bit stronger. But as like an investor, if you want to get into this is something that like you want to get your money ready for the long term because I think again we're still, I don't know if we're gonna be just coming all the way up now. I don't think that this is the bottom, but get your money ready to grab your coins at some discounts because these levels are not gonna be here forever. So let's see what's actually going on. Can we get a pullback? So all right, the fact that it closed like that leaves me very skeptical. This leaves me very skeptical using this area. Oh, that's another thing we could take a look at. I had a limit on um the yens because that's another thing that has been going crazy. This week in general has just been fucking crazy. But the yens have actually been really the catalyst to a lot of the stuff that's been going on in our market. Because if you guys don't know, Japan is like the biggest holder of our U.S. bonds. So I think what they did was like they didn't even do anything yet. I think the Bank of Japan just signaled that they're going to a dovish tone with their monetary policy, meaning they're going to be looking to um, decrease rates on their federal rates. So what that means is that money would be more abundant. So that led to a huge spike in the value of the yen. So if you can see the yen basket here, actually no, they started doing that on the July 11th, but when we actually got started getting the volatility, it was like this week. So here, or last week, so it was around here, yeah, Tuesday of last week, where we just got the huge movement that they were just like, all right, now we're going to be switching to a dovish tone. People are looking to be more, spend more money, which increases the value of that currency. Now, how this affects us is since we're currency traders, something like GJ, it leads to like, what is this, like a 20,000 pip sell off. Like, that's fucking crazy. Like, that's fucking crazy, But now it's just about navigating the area that we're in, right? And I did identify like we could be bullish. The only thing I missed is that like I just missed my limit by a little bit because I had our 4 hour imbalance marked off right here, and this is also kind of our institutional candle. Mark that off. So we can see it led to a huge up movement in the bullish direction with this candle, and then consolidated into a pullback. So let me zoom in a little bit here. And I'm kind of upset I didn't that this position didn't work out. I wanted to get the best position possible. Um, and like yeah, we just didn't get filled though. But basically, when we have this 4 hour institutional candle, you take this swing low from the swing high, and we can observe the pullback. So it hit 61%, which is here. 78% is this blue line here. So it's between this zone. So that is enough for a pullback. So I noticed that, but I was on the 1 hour chart because I was analyzing all up until like this point. I didn't see anything that was going on. So I was just like, cool. Like maybe I was like, cool. Maybe we were going to bounce off this candle here. When I seen that this when I was on the 15-minute chart, I seen this up candle printed, and I was like, ooh, maybe we can buy off of this candle. But then we came and fucking destroyed that low, which gave me not confidence. Like that changed my confidence completely. I was just like, all right, maybe like I know that they bought off of this area, so I was kind of looking for them to come down here again. What I was really looking for was like another a double top scenario where they come down, maybe not even that low, but like they come down and they kind of do like an equal low or a double bottom scenario and then bring it back up and then trade higher. So that's kind of exactly what I was looking for, but unfortunately we didn't get that. Let me see how this plays out. So it looks like we bounced completely off of the imbalance. I also want to note there's a 5 minute imbalance, 5 minute institutional candle that kind of gets used as the catalyst. But I wasn't really paying attention to that. But it makes sense in hindsight that if this was the area that swept liquidity, we can expect price to come back to this area. So if to be honest, looking back at it now, that could have been somewhere where I adjusted the order to. Because instead of the order being down here, I think it was like 184.40. Instead of the order being down here, we could have put it at that institutional candle, which is also kind of in line with the psychological number, 185. And then we could have took that. Let me show you how that plays out. But just so you can see the order here never got filled. So, you know, order limit price at 184 with the stop loss, but we never got filled. But going back to this real quick, you can just see how it plays out. Watch this 5 minute institutional candle to see exactly the market bounce off of it. Actually goes a little bit too fast. See how the market bounces right off of that shit. And then that gives us our entry. And this happened around London, so below London, which is also in line with what we're looking for. I mean, I was sleeping during London, but if you're bullish, you want to be able to buy below open price. So just watching that play out, and then this gave a lot. This gave a lot of pips. This gave a lot of pips if we were able to catch this. So you see, still respecting that low though. I don't think we actually take out this low. See, that is our lower high. Sorry, that is our higher low that is formed. And then from this point, it's just cleaning up imbalance. So they filled in, so they hit this imbalance, then they hit this imbalance, and now it seems like we're all balanced. We can just start breaking up higher. Let's see, do we take out this low? Nope. That's the 830 candle, and then we just fucking take off, and then fast forward to where we are now. Fast forward to where we are now. Yeah, so it is what it is. we're not gonna be able to catch every single move in the market. Um, yeah, I don't think my idea was horrible. I could have adjusted it though before I went to sleep because I wanted to get really the best position possible. So I was just like, if they bought here, they're likely to buy here again. And we've seen that happen where the market can come down, it makes a double bottom, and then it just fucking takes off. Like that double bottom represents liquidity, but it does not have to take that immediately. So that was kind of a scenario I was looking for. But fortunately, did not get that. So fuck it. Anyways, back to the Nas. So I'm officially probably not taking a trade today then because what I was looking for, what I was looking for was something in this area. We took out these equal highs. We can kind of ignore that. But we're just going right now. Like it's actually kind of crazy. I mean, I'm gonna be here for the market close. I'm gonna come back for close because I don't think that's gonna be like this all day. I could be wrong. Let's see what's another point of reference that we could probably turn around. Maybe this imbalance. Maybe this imbalance because this is the area that they used yesterday to break the structure. So if you see all from here, the structure is kind of bullish, very much bullish until we just break the structure. But we left behind this tiny imbalance on the 15-minute. So maybe that is a reference point that we can use for a reversal. I just don't think that we're going to be holding these buys. I just don't think that. Um, and this is the thing that sucks as a trader sometimes. It's like you want to be able to catch the next move, but see, or that's the thing. You get caught up with trying to catch the next move versus trying to catch the right move. Like I'm trying to catch the right move, which I firmly believe is bearish because again, like the way that these candles are printing, it just looks like we're in the middle of a expansion. It doesn't look like we're gonna just like this does not look like a bottom to me on the daily chart. It just looks like we're in the middle of an expansion to the downside to continue, taking more liquidity or whatever. But, I just don't see it. Just don't see it. And we also traded back into this gap here. So, there's 6 hours until the market closes. So we just got to see how it plays out. We just got to see how it plays out. But I want to be paying attention to that potential reversal. Damn, I guess we're not taking a trade because yeah. Let's see. Is there a way we could have taken this though? I mean, I guess because I was convinced that Nas was the most bullish or bearish because for taking back this daily chart real quick, Nas is the one with the engulfing candle. Took out the high, closed below. I think S&P, yeah, as well. Took out the high, closed below. But US 30 doesn't really do that. It's not the cleanest, which makes sense why it's the most bullish as of right now during the open. But this is not like if anything, it looks like it can engulf to the upside with how crazy it's trading. If we took out this previous day's low, now if we come higher than this high, that'd be engulfing to the upside. But it's a very awkward scenario. That'd be a very awkward scenario if it actually engulfs above here. Just because uh, this is like navigating through these times sometimes can be difficult. Like on the other two indexes, we have an engulfing bar to the downside, but we could be potentially getting an engulfing bar to the upside on one of the indexes. So that is very sketchy, but that actually has to happen right before we assume it happens. We can't trade something that didn't happen yet. So, all right, that's that. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna be paying attention to this NAS. I really want to be able to catch this pullback. I really want to catch this pullback. So again, the story is low resistance highs being taken by liquidity, or low resistance highs representing liquidity being taken here. We fucking dumped that shit yesterday. I think today is just a pullback to continue off, selling off. But we have to find the right area to do that. That's the only hard part. Because there's multiple reference points and only so much time in the day. But I mean we're not gonna be here all day. Probably gonna end this soon in about maybe another like 10 minutes or so. Let's see where we're at. Alright. Alright. All good. So yeah. Oil did take off. Oil did take off. So that was the lows we were looking at. Nice. Nice. Very nice. So how are stocks doing? Stocks mostly green. Eli Lilly, a fucking banger of a stock. That shit went up $100 through its earnings. That's ridiculous because this is an extremely expensive stock already, and then it just jumped another $100. Like, what the fuck? I'm sure the shareholders are loving this. Got some happy shareholders. They're fucking oozing out of their pants right now. Mm, okay. How is the Australian dollar trading? Oh, this is interesting. This is interesting. This is like a mitigation. It is a mitigation, but it's not the strongest one. You got a low, you got a high, you got a lower low, then you rip, and then we come back. We come back kind of deep, but this would be like the reference point to continue higher. So low, high, lower low, rip, come back into a reference point. Probably think it's like right here. But see, that's the issue. We got we got lower than that 3 times. We got one, two, three, and then we rally. So maybe we can get a pullback into this area. Or it could be a balanced price range, to be honest. Actually, I don't think that. This might be an example of an imbalance that does not get filled. I'm actually going to hold it in. We're going to do that. I don't actually think this could be imbalance that does not get filled. And the reason for that is because it's it's like a balanced price range already. Like there was already an imbalance here that they came and they filled in here. So that this push out is kind of just like the market was never supposed to be here in the first place. So this could be something that we don't trade back into. Could be something we don't trade back into. See, and then we have just an engulfing bar, and now we could probably only fill in this imbalance and then continue higher. But we're not really finding anything of what I was looking for. The market just kind of fucking expanded And yeah, there and see this was so similar to how like this just played out. This is like an imbalance that never got filled. That could be something that happens on the in the Australian dollar, like this whole area. This is the breakaway imbalance area, but we never came back. And so it's like if the market to for smart money concepts, you'd expect it to come back into this area before coming up before continuing higher. But that's how you know that this area is just like a balanced price range. So it is what it is. So it looks like we're getting a reaction off of this 15-minute imbalance. So I'm gonna end the stream here, but this is kind of what I'm gonna be paying attention to till probably like the market close. Or no, I'm gonna be going to the gym, but maybe in about at 3 o'clock I'm gonna come back, like power hour. I want to see if this area is like the top. So it looks like a 1 hour imbalance. Sorry, sorry, a 15-minute imbalance, but it pulls back because this is the 1 hour the Fibonacci logic that we have here. We're pulling back to almost like the 886 area. So this is a very deep pullback, but we have a reference point, which is this imbalance. I want to see if we're actually going to be bouncing off this area, rejecting this area. But we have to see that price action first before we can take a trade. So for that reason, we're just gonna be watching. We're just gonna be watching, and this could potentially be something on gold, but I'm not looking to trade right now. I'm not gonna be looking to trade right now. So that's pretty much where we're at. My name is Malik, and with the finance corner. So check me out Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and we'll be able to find some trades, do some research, and have a good time. So for now, take care.